go. I'm listening to some Epidemic Sound. This is the Jazz Essentials playlist. You like the tavern music one? The tavern music one is sick, I agree. Whew, okay. Gotta do some lines over here as well on the hoof. Now these are pretty well defined. So I think I can just use the edge of the brush here for practically everything. Maybe not. As long as I can kind of skim around some of these edges. We don't need to have highlights on everything, but just a little bit of brightness on the foot, not a bad idea. I kind of like having some additional scratches, even though these are not in the model. I've done this all over the mini already. Just tiny little directional lines. And it kind of works, I think. I think it looks nice. Trying to create a little bit more texture in areas that are flat-ish. That one's a little too extreme, but we wiped it off. Let's do the other side. Yeah, we can add a little bit of easy texture that way, and I think it looks good in the end. Some of these sections are a little bit difficult to reach, but I think this will do. And mellow out some of these with a little bit of that wash. Not bad. Okay, now we gotta add it as well to the tooth. There's a little bit of a finicky section here, but I think if we turn it like this, I can probably paint it reasonably well. So we want to do this. That's way too much on my brush. Even though there's not a whole lot on my brush. Okay. Lowko, when will you get a VTuber avatar that we can look at while you paint? Just picture it, okay, Draco? Just picture that it's there. You can see it even with your eyes closed. That's the beautiful thing about my VTuber avatar. I look like a cat boy? Okay. It is a little hard to see, but we're getting tiny little lines on the tooth. The tootsies. I want to add like a slightly brighter spot as well on some of these. Let me actually try to mix a couple of these colors together a little bit. I don't like the way that the knuckles look. There's a little bit of texture on them. Let me try and see if I can smooth some of that out a little bit. There's a little bit of strange texture on them. I think it's because I dry brushed some of this. There we go. I've not liked that section here ever since we first got started with it. It's a good thing to fix it. My hand's gotten steadier? I think so too, yeah. I mean, it's been near daily practice, right? I've been painting not necessarily super many hours every week, but most days we do at least like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. And it does definitely feel better. Trying to add some bright highlights. On the most raised up areas. The sharpest edges. I would like to have a tiny little line over here too if I can. Okay. Same for over here. Okay. No, that's too much. Okay. In a few years, I'm going to be able to do neurosurgery. Do you need to know anything for neurosurgery, or are we just going to fucking wing it? All you need, the only requirement is a reasonably steady hand. Just a steady hand, yeah. Do you think neurosurgeons would be great miniature painters? Probably, eh? Okay. A couple of highlights to the horns, just following the ridges on the model. Same principle here. I want to try and see if I can add just a tiny little bit of additional brightness in some of this. Just a slightly brighter color. I'm glad that a rat has horns. A very reasonable request for a rat. So, I wasn't sure about the black, but I don't think it's so bad. I think it's a good little bit of contrast. I'm gonna brown it just a tiny little bit though. A tiny little bit of a brown wash to it. Dull it down just a tad. Those bright highlights are just a tad bit too bright. There we go. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to be wrapping it up for today, guys. Oh, I do have to add a little bit of that wash as well to these sections that are poking out of the skirt. I keep forgetting about these areas. There's little pokey pokes coming out of his dress. Do we need any of those super bright highlights as well on the hoof? Yeah, may as well. The most upwards facing section here. It's called a rope. You think so? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do some StarCraft and then we're gonna do a little bit of Factorio. That is the plan. All right, guys. A nice, effective hour or so of painting. More like 2 hours. Anyways, I made another step forward with the face. Did a little bit of painting on the horns. Little horns in the middle of his face. I did the teeth. I think the teeth are looking pretty good. We did the nails. Tried to add a little bit of a shadow and then also a highlight on some of those. For some reason I kind of fucked up a little section here. Try and blend that back in if I can. May have to add a tiny little black line for that. We'll let it dry fully, see how it goes. I also did the other hand, obviously. That one also has nails on it. We did the hoof. I don't think that looks terrible. And then we did the tail, of course. So I did some highlights on the tail. I used a different color than I normally would. We did like a yellow brownish color for highlighting red, which feels kind of out there to me, but I think it's right. I think it actually looks quite good, especially from a bit of a distance. it actually looks like it's kind of almost like a little bit glossy, you know, like it looks pretty real. We still have to paint, so there's a lot of decorations on his tail. Like there's a little bell over here, and we have like a bracelet looking thing over here too, 2 of them. That'll make it look a little bit different as well, I think, when we're ultimately done, but it's coming together, man. Like it actually looks pretty cool like this, I think. Yeah, I think the face actually looks good. I'm very happy with the face. Coming together. So I think next time around, I'm gonna have to do, let me see. We may go ahead and do some of the actual armor. So, say for example, the shoulder pads right over here. These have to be like a metallic color. Same for like obviously, so these shoulder pads right over here. Same for the front. Those have to be a different color. The belt obviously has to be a different color. I want to do some like some gunmetal and then also some coppery details on that. So we'll grab a little bit of the darker paints for the metallics, and then we'll highlight them back up. So I'll probably use those 2 again, just like on the Leviathan Dreadnought. But yeah, it's coming together slowly but surely. Actually, in the box art, the shoulder pads are very dark, so I may have to like make like a darker color of. Maybe I'll do like some gunmetal, and then we'll mix in like some Black Templar or something to like make it look a little bit darker. No, I'm not gonna airbrush it. Just a good old regular brush. It's a large model for sure. I did some airbrushing on the base colors of the skin initially to like get that started. But I don't think I want to be airbrushing any metallics right now because I know I'm gonna accidentally get it on the face. And I don't want that. Now I can paint this in pretty quick. Like this is mostly like I actually want to. I'm thinking like there's a lot of little sections. Like there's a lot of little patches, I guess, on his robe. And I'm thinking about doing like maybe 3 different colors or so. And we'll kind of like deviate the different patches, and then we'll make it look a little bit different rather than like one boring color. We'll make it look at least a little bit more interesting, I hope. The cloth is going to be tricky though. Yeah, I'm thinking like different like colors of green, kind of like that. And I will add like maybe a slightly darker than this and a slightly brighter than this, and we kind of like wash it all in one go so it still looks like it's one piece. And I'll have to edge highlight some of it back up and maybe add some more folds and whatnot back into it, but I actually think this little section over here is a really nice touch. This is like so this guy has a goat leg, right? And he has an extra joint right over there below the knee and in between the ankle. He's got like an extra joint. And this little dot right over here is that joint that is on his second leg. Like his leg is completely hidden. We can't actually see it. It's not visible anywhere. But it's like, yeah, it's the reverse knee, which I think is really clever. Like that's one of those things you could easily forget about when you're sculpting a model like this, because it would have worked fine if you just kind of like had a flowing rope. But that's a nice little detail. I don't really know how they design models like this. I can imagine that maybe they already, maybe they use like a 3D setup, you know, like maybe have like a 3D model of it and they use that. So it just came with 2 legs and it kind of naturally worked out that way. But anyways, very cool, very cool. I only used 1 brush today, guys. New record. All right, it's been a couple days since I have last painted miniatures. I know, 2 entire days. Crazy stuff. So last time around, I painted the tail. I think the tail turned out pretty good. We have some detail all over it. I may have to do a bit more of like a highlight and some tidying up on some of the spikes if I feel like doing that later. But we're getting there. Today we are moving on to another project, and the next project is metallics. This guy is wearing a bit of an interesting outfit. So first off, he's got this like I don't know, there's like plate mail over here. There's these like metallic triangle looking things. He's got these shoulder plates as well. And then below he's got some cloth. So this is supposed to be cloth. There's also like a metallic belt. There's also all kinds of like metallic thingamajigs over on the staff. We've got whatever this is right up here. Bro, I just realized there's little rats on the staff as well that I have not painted at all. How have I missed those? Dude, there's 2 tiny little rats right up there. I knew they were there, I just forgot about it. Well, we will have to get to the small rats at some point in the future. But today is Metallics Day. I'm gonna skip the metallics on the base for now. We'll do those in one go sometime later. That is gonna be one of the final steps on the miniature, but... some of this is wood and some of it is metallic, so I'll have to have a look. I am gonna go ahead and open up the reference art real quick on the official Warhammer website. Because some of this is a little bit finicky. Because there's all kinds of details scattered across the miniature that make it all a little bit messy. Let me see, they have great 3D images though. Or like 360 images rather, on their website, which is pretty nice. Just to make sure we can get all the metallics. So one thing I noticed on the shoulder pads in the official box art is that the shoulder pads are very dark, but still metallic. And I don't have a metallic paint that goes that dark. So I think what I'm gonna do is mix in a little bit of black into my darkest metallic. So we'll get some matte black over here and I'll mix that into a little bit of gunmetal. And we should be able to get that dark black, which I need to go and put all over, yeah, we need to put it mostly over the shoulder pads. That's the plan. Just the shoulder pads, really. The scarf section over here we'll do sometime later. This is gonna be a little bit finicky though, because there's a lot of little sections that are, I don't know, they're hiding, you know? I cleaned my palette, look at this. Look how tidy that is, chat. You may post PogChamps, it's a lot. You just got an army of everyone's favorite invasive space bugs. Very nice. I'm just lubing up my palette, okay? We need it to be nice and moist. There we go. Otherwise my paint dries out, mass color. We don't want that now, would we? So I think what we're gonna do is add just a little bit of black into the, where is it? The gunmetal. That's the plan. Give him a good shake. I would prefer holding on to my paint when I shake. Holy shit, I just flew it through the room. Good start. Good start. Good start. I just flung it straight through my room. Luckily it didn't hit anything. It hit the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. We'll do like one little drop and then another little drop of black right next to it. We'll try to mix those together. Just need it to be very dark so we can make those shoulder pads nice and black, but still somewhat metallic, you know? Yeah. Please yeet me across the room. I don't think the paint wanted that. No, I don't think the paint really wanted that, but it's okay. Gene stealers can infiltrate orcs. They aren't aggressive enough, so the orcs always find them out. All right. Yeah, I want to do a couple of different sections in slightly different tones, but still relatively muted. So we'll grab some black, and then we'll grab some of this, and we'll mix this together until we get a very dark metallic color. This paint is relatively shiny, this stuff that is. So it should still be visible. I'm hoping this is a good idea. If not, we can cover it. So I just need this to go all over the shoulder pads. Maybe 2 coats, maybe not. But it should create a nice dark color over here. And it's so smooth, dude. Ay, ay, ay. That way we can highlight it later on with our dark metallic pure. We've just made it even darker. So we don't have to dilute it if we want to highlight this section back up. I think that's a good plan. We will have to run some like rust and whatnot into some of these sections as well. Because I'm assuming Mr. Redman doesn't really take very good care of his armor, man. Maybe he does, but I feel like there's room for improvement. Let me actually turn on the painting light too. I do want to be careful painting some of these areas though, because obviously it's very close to the skin that we have already pretty much finished. I don't really care so much about the little tail for the little rat, because I'm not quite done with those yet, although I would prefer not hitting those if I have any say in the matter. We're listening to a little bit of retro synthwave again, by the way. Always nice. Make sure we get a little bit of paint over here too in these recessed areas. Okay. Orcs have an economic model based on teeth? Do they really? I don't really know much about orcs from the Warhammer world. Are they very similar to the orcs from World of Warcraft at all? I just remember killing them in Space Marine 1. That's about my extent of my orc knowledge. 1 orc tooth can be exchanged for a fungus beer and 2 for a Shuda? Damn. The exchange range for a beer to a Shuda is 2 to 1? That's incredible value. It depends on the size of the tooth. And since teeth decompose, there is no inflation. Whoa, that's kind of brilliant. I had not really considered that. I did already, by the way, spill a tiny little section over here onto the skin. We will have to solve that with some of the previous colors later. Just a small little line over there. It's almost invisible, but I will go ahead and fix that. Because we need to be tidy painters. This is where my stubbornness to refuse to do any sort of sub-assemblies bites me in the butt a little bit. You can make fun of me, it's okay. I do think this color is good now. It's very dark, but not quite black. I need it to be darker later on for a little bit more contrast. I may run like a contrast paint or something all over it to add just a little bit more variety. this should be okay. The only problem is I didn't quite mix enough, it seems. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more mixing for the second shoulder pad. So we're gonna have to make sure we get at least a similar tone. We'll have to aim for identical, but I'm planning on washing all of this with the same color. So I want to base coat all of the metallics. And then we'll add a little bit of a wash over all of those metallics as well. Planning on doing a little bit of the Agrax Earthshade wannabe wash. Agrax Earthshade, but probably better. Seems to stain it a little bit. It's good. Dip wash over the entire model? No, 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 no. That's not what we are planning on doing. Okay, I didn't fuck up so far too much. We have a little tiny extra section right over here. Yeah, the Citadel washes are quite nice. I like them. I wanted to buy a new bottle of Agrax because I had spilled mine when I first got started. So I lost like 80% of the whole bottle right at the very beginning. I was very upset. Anyways, I ran out. Like I was pretty much running out. So I had to buy another bottle, but then it was out of stock. So I decided to go with one of the Too Thin Coat shades instead, or one of the washes. And I really do like it. Seems to be cheaper. That's nice. Not the biggest fan of most of the range, but the non-oil is a classic. Right. I seem to use a lot of non-oil and Agrax in particular. Like Agrax Earthshade I use for a lot of stuff. It's just a brown wash, right? But I do like it. It's good. How's your airship coming along, Dylan? The second one. You finished it already. You gotta finish all 3 of them by next week? Right. Yeah, you were saying it's a commission, right? So I guess you're not gonna spend 7 years on it. Mixing a little bit more black. And a little bit of that into this mix. Already spending a little too much time? Right. I feel like that's the great bait of commission painting. You're like, it doesn't take that much more time. 7 hours later. You want to do a good job? You want the customer to be happy? Yeah, makes sense. Being paid poorly, but having lots of fun. Okay. I mean, it's still content, right? If it's streaming content, anything for the content. And I'm assuming the person that's paying for the commission also is watching, right? So they're probably having a great time. It's good on Feral. feel like my hand is not as steady today. I don't know why. Do we have daily variance in hand stability? I'm assuming we do. Hand's feeling a little derpy. Okay. I used to get very excited over painting metallics. Now I'm like, metallics. It's okay, I guess, but... I was like, ooh, shiny. And now I'm like, We have to clean out our water a bunch. Yeah, maybe some NMM, yeah. Maybe I should give that a shot at some point. I haven't really done that before. But I could definitely go ahead and give that a shot to spice it up a little bit. Not a bad idea. This guy doesn't have a ton of metallics on him. I mean, there's a little bit. I feel like regular metallics will look great on this. How does that section work up there? Ah. Sometimes it's a little hard to see what the fuck's even happening underneath some of these sections. So the cloak or the scarf is gonna be red. This will require a second coat over here, but that's okay. What's going on, Nemode? This is a blast from the past. You remember watching the StarCraft 2 videos? Nice. We're gonna do some StarCraft 2 videos in a little bit. I'm actually gonna be recording Protoss vs. Zerg on the new patch. Couple hours of painting, then we'll do some StarCraft. And then I'm actually planning on playing some Warcraft 1. So if you want a real blast from the past, they remastered Warcraft 1 a couple days ago. With the 30-year Warcraft anniversary. It's kind of flown under the radar a little bit, but I've never played that game before. I mean, I played it yesterday for the very first time, but it is it's very fun so far. Although obviously it's an old game. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is all coming along. I decided to use some yellow highlighting on the tail, which felt very ambitious to me, Dylan. I also decided to do some other sketchiness and whatnot. Trying to do a little bit more outside the model and try to create a little bit more texture. You hurt your hand playing basketballs? Should I switch to Protoss so it heals? Yeah. Just switch to Protoss for a couple weeks, man. That's what you get for executing regular sports. We don't do regular sports, okay? All we do is esports. Catapults in Warcraft 1 are insane, dude. I blew up a lot of my own units. Honestly, the trickiest missions so far in the Warcraft 1 campaign are the few dungeon crawling ones that I've done. I struggled quite a bit on the Gorona mission, where you have to find Gorana? Whatever her name is. You have to clear this whole map, and you get a set amount of units at the start. However, the characters are all very derpy, right? Like the micro is very tricky to execute because the units don't really listen, because it's pathing straight from the early 90s. So you have to keep all your units alive to the best of your abilities, but none of the units really want to stay alive. Griselda? No, that's not it. Is it? Maybe, I don't know. So we got a quick little second code over here. No, not the orc that was dating an ogre. That was another dungeon crawling mission though. There's this this lady that you gotta save, this lady orc. There's a second very similar setup. I understand the confusion though. I think it's Gorona. The one that's been retconned to be half Draenei? Yeah. Medivh. Well, I don't know if he's really her father now. I think she's, like, I think that was supposed to be the story, but apparently she's now half Draenei. So there's some sort of retconning going on, and I don't really know. Yo, Imba Locust, what's up?
Since you enjoying mini painting a lot, have you ever considered to try out body painting?
What's going on, Imba Locust? Thank you very much. Great question. Do you think I need to tape my nipples? Because I have seen people doing body painting on Twitch, and they usually have these stickers on their nipples. Since I have men's nipples though, is it okay to... I don't know what the rules are, man, but thank you for questioning me, and yeah, to maybe just plant the seed, you know, for future projects. The answer is no, by the way. First sub of the day. You can't even paint miniature nipples? Can you not? Wait, for real? Can you not paint... No, you can definitely paint miniature nipples. No way you can't. I don't know exactly what the Twitch terms of service say. Unless you have a miniature with just nipples. It should be okay, I think. I don't know. You got a warning once because your mini nipple was too realistic and a mod came to check it out? What the fuck? I've been streaming for years and I've never gotten a warning, man. You're saying I should have been Ah. How lame. I would like to do a bit of regular chainmail. With the non-blacked out paint. So we're just doing some pure color here. That's gonna be for all of the chainmail sections. I will be painting in these triangles in a little bit. We're doing this section first right now. Those triangles are going to be copper. You've been really careful with your Slanesh models ever since. I guess all of the Games Workshop stuff doesn't have nipples, do they? That's so lame though, dude. Like, would the ancient Greek and Romans get banned for making nipples? on their statues. So silly. Like, you go to a museum, there's nipples everywhere, dude. This is that weird prudishness that we see on the internet. It's weird. I don't know why that's a thing. It's definitely cultural. It's not that big of a deal in Dutch culture, but maybe in other countries it is more of a no-no. Yeah, they did loosen the rules for a couple days. I remember that day. It was not even multiple days. It was just one day. That was one famous day about 2 years ago at this point where Twitch changed the rules as far as nudity goes. And they decided that artistic nudity was allowed, which seems entirely reasonable. However, Twitch streamers immediately ruined it. On that one fateful day, glorious Twitch titles such as 1 sub equals +1 inch entered the platform. It was a glorious day. I thought it was very funny. Easily one of the best Twitch titles I have seen my entire life. With guys on the internet just drawing wieners. Yeah, and then Twitch was like, God damn, I guess we have to actually not do this. You missed that? Yeah, it was a very, very short amount of time. It's kind of sad though that Twitch actually had to like go back on that so quickly because people ruined it immediately. Nice, I got a little bit more on the skin. Yeah, it kind of sucks that they had to go back on that, but... This is why we can't have nice things. You don't care about Twitch streamers? The only Lowko is what matters? Aww. I mean, you're right, but aww. There's other streamers out there? Aww. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Ooh. I sent the, there's a little bit of a thing that happened about an hour ago. No, not even an hour ago. About 35 minutes ago. I got a letter in the mail from the Belastingdienst, the Dutch tax authorities. And they were like, hey, there's a very large amount of money missing. Can you please let us know what the fuck is up? That's basically what it said. It was showing me numbers from 2023 and then numbers from 2024. I was like, I don't know, the accountant is what, you know, he's the one that sent this. So anyways, I emailed the accountant immediately and he already got back to me and he's like, yeah, no, this was actually just a tiny mistake. I have already resubmitted the correct information. I was like, God, I cannot, like, you know, pretty sure in the Netherlands it's better to be a tax criminal, or to be a burglar than to be a tax criminal. Pretty sure we're more, you know. I'm trying to do the right thing here, man. Tiny mistake, Lowko loses the house. Right. Okay. This is why I'm glad that the accountant I have is very quick to answer. Like when I phone him, he will almost immediately answer unless he's already in a call. I sent him an email because I was already, like, this was literally as I was, you know, starting up the stream. I sent him an email because the stream was already live. I couldn't call. And he already responded, which is nice. One of the sketchiest things, man, of being self-employed is doing taxes. Seriously. I'm actually gonna respond to this email real quick, 1 sec. Let me see. God, now I have to think in Dutch. Thinking in English and Dutch at the same time does not work. Hartelijk dank voor de snelle reactie. Okay, there we go. We're starting it up, chat. This is where we need AI tools to come in. Alvast bedankt. Met vriendelijke groet. Alright. Perfect. It's really hard for me to like switch languages sometimes. I know this sounds weird. Like I can, but it doesn't feel natural. Especially when I'm talking English and I'm trying to write in Dutch. It does not work. Gabbers gegroet. Sending that to an accountant is really weird. What up, my dudes? How do you do, fellow nerds? How do? I don't think I've ever said that in my life, Kasi Jun. How do is not really, If you say how do, I immediately assume you spawned close to Belgium in IRL. Spawning close to Belgium is a sketchy thing, dude. How do en bedankt. Aju. I also don't enter I usually don't end my emails with Lowko, chat. I usually put my actual name at the bottom of emails. I did also do it this time around. I just double checked. How do en bedankt. Hey gozer, bedankt voor de snelle reactie. Gozer. No, you can't talk like that either. No. No, when you send emails, you have to sound like a human. What is the hardest Dutch word to pronounce? I don't know, Edel. If you have one, I will pronounce it perfectly for you, okay? Just send it to me, I will pronounce it flawlessly. My Dutch is fucking S tier, dude. Neuken in de keuken. There you go. That's always a classic, isn't it? Neuken in de keuken. Yeah, we generally don't really pronounce the last N in those words. I don't know why. It depends on how far from the cities you want to be, you know? Like, if you want to be posh, you could pronounce the N at the very end of the word, like keuken, keuken. But you have to be of a certain, it indicates your tax bracket. 88 prachtige grachten in Scheveningen. There you go. What a beautiful Dutch sentence. 88 prachtige grachten in Scheveningen. Does that sound like a language? I think so. We'll base code the blade with this as well. This is the foul speech of Mordor, as Gandalf called it. It's meant to represent. We pronounce all the N's. Very nice. A lot of Dutchies tuning in today. Okay. English stream has been cancelled. From here on out zal de hele stream Nederlands zijn. Nee. Nee, dat gaan we niet doen. Grachten. Gracht would be like the Dutch word for canal. We have loads of those. You can't speak Dutch? Guys, Zeekhart can't speak Dutch. Everybody go make fun of Zeekhart for not speaking. No, I'm kidding. Nobody should learn Dutch, man. Unless you're born here or you move here, there's zero reason to learn Dutch. Although if you do move to the Netherlands, even though the entire country speaks English, I think you should still learn Dutch. Because Dutch people are antisocial as shit. Plus we get really awkward. Especially people that don't deal with non-native English, or Dutch speakers rather, regularly. People get very awkward on social gatherings and stuff. Gonna feel left out, buddy. Plus, even if you just try to speak Dutch a little bit, people will really appreciate the effort. That's it, Rocco. Nailed it.